Forget the pyramids. This tiny, tiny group of microorganisms are capable of powering many homes in the world. When we think of electricity, we usually picture wires, power plants, or batteries. Rarely would we imagine that a tiny living organism could generate electricity. However, there has been groundbreaking discovery of an incredible group of bacteria capable of doing just that, producing electricity naturally. These fascinating microbes are known as electrogenic bacteria, and they are not only changing how we understand life, but also inspiring innovative solutions for energy and environmental challenges. So, what are electrogenic bacteria? You may be asking yourself. Electrogenic bacteria are microorganisms that can generate and transfer electricity. They generate electricity naturally as part of their metabolism. Among them, one of the most studied is Geobacter sulfuriducens. This bacterium was first discovered in the muddy sediments of the Potomac River in the United States in the late 1980s. Unlike most living organisms, which rely on oxygen to breathe, Geobacter can survive in environments with little or no oxygen, such as deep soils, riverbeds, or wastewater, and that is where they are commonly found. What sets these bacteria apart is their ability to breathe metals instead of oxygen. They accomplish this by transferring electrons, tiny particles that carry electrical charge, from inside their cells to external surfaces, like metal or minerals. This process essentially makes them tiny power generators. So, how do these bacteria generate electricity? Like all living organisms, these bacteria extract energy from food. In this case, organic matter such as sugars, oils, or waste products. These materials are broken down inside the bacteria, releasing electrons as part of their metabolic process. Normally, in human or animal cells, electrons are transferred within the cell and used to produce energy. But in Geobacter and similar bacteria, these electrons are transported to the cell's outer surface. Most organisms use oxygen as a final electron acceptor in their metabolic processes, but since electrogenic bacteria often live in environments devoid of oxygen, such as deep sediments or wastewater, instead of oxygen, they transfer electrons to solid surfaces, such as metal oxides or electrodes. So, here's where the magic happens. These bacteria have special protein structures, sometimes called nanowires, that allow them to transfer electrons directly to conductive materials, like iron or electrodes. These structures act like tiny electric cables, transferring electrons from the interior of the bacterial cell to an external surface. This process creates a flow of electrical current. Needless to say, the discovery of electrogenic bacteria has opened up a world of possibilities. For example, scientists have developed devices called microbial fuel cells, MFCs, to harness electricity from these bacteria. An MFC is a small system where bacteria feed on organic material, such as wastewater, and transfer electrons to electrodes, thus generating electricity. While the power output is still relatively low, this technology has enormous potential for powering small devices or remote sensors. In India, a pilot project used microbial fuel cells to convert cow dung into electricity. The bacteria in the dung broke down the organic material and transferred electrons to electrodes, generating power. This approach could be scaled up in rural areas to provide affordable and sustainable energy. One of the most practical and promising applications of electrogenic bacteria is in wastewater treatment. Conventional wastewater treatment is energy intensive, as it usually requires electricity to aerate water and break down pollutants. In the Netherlands, researchers at Wageningen University have developed microbial fuel cells, MFCs, that use electrogenic bacteria to treat wastewater. These systems not only clean the water, but also produce electricity as a byproduct. A single liter of wastewater can generate enough electricity to power small sensors or devices, while simultaneously reducing the energy costs of wastewater treatment plants. Since electrogenic bacteria like Geobacter can also breathe toxic metals such as uranium, this makes them useful in bioremediation, which is the process of using microorganisms to clean up polluted environments. They can reduce heavy metals such as uranium and chromium, rendering them less toxic. For example, Geobacter has been used to remove radioactive contamination from groundwater. In Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Geobacter sulfur-reducens was used to clean up uranium-contaminated groundwater. The bacteria metabolized the uranium, transforming it into a stable solid form that could be safely removed. This process not only reduced contamination, but also demonstrated the bacteria's potential for large-scale environmental restoration. Imagine a medical implant powered by bacteria inside your body. I am not even kidding. Bacteria that generate electricity could power implantable medical devices, such as pacemakers or biosensors, that monitor health conditions without the need for external batteries. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego, have developed microbial fuel cells that can operate in the human body, feeding on glucose and other nutrients to generate electricity. These devices could one day power sensors that track blood sugar levels or other vital signs. While the potential applications are exciting, there are still challenges to overcome. The electricity generated by these bacteria is relatively small compared to conventional energy sources. To make microbial fuel cells practical on a large scale, scientists are working on improving the efficiency of electron transfer and finding ways to engineer bacteria that can produce more power. In addition, scaling up these systems requires innovative designs and materials that are both cost-effective and environmentally friendly. However, advancements in genetic engineering and synthetic biology are paving the way for solutions. For example, researchers have already modified Geobacter to produce more robust nanowires, increasing their efficiency in transferring electrons. Synthetic biology is also being used to create hybrid systems, where bacteria work alongside advanced materials to maximize energy production. So why does this matter, you may ask? If you have been following trends over the past few years, there has been a shift where people are more concerned with sustainability. Electrogenic bacteria represent a glimpse into the future. They offer a way to turn waste into energy, reduce pollution, and develop new technologies inspired by nature. Just imagine that a tiny organism like that can have such a big impact. These bacteria also remind us of the incredible diversity of life on Earth and how even the smallest organisms can have a massive impact on our lives.